landfills. So there's a landfill in Puerto Rico that's way overflowed. Puerto Rico has a legitimate trash problem because they're on an island. Like, where are you going to put it, right? There's all these people living on that island. Where are you going to put it? And so they have landfills. Their landfills are way over capacity. So that's where the joke came from.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, the joke came from, like, Tony being environmentally conscious about recycling.
Yeah, they don't seem to have taken it that way.
Welcome to Pegasus vs. the World, where we take on challenges, trending topics, and some travel.
City boy! City boy!
All right, you guys. A boo-boo storm, storm has hit the America, which happens every election cycle. Every election cycle, these politicians, man, just don't give a F about the people and just actually get totally decrepit. From censorship on YouTube to the streets lighting up to whatever you want to call it. It gets wild in America during election year. It's one of the times that I'm in America where I'm just like, please, can November 5th, can we just have an answer? Can one of these MFers just win the presidency fair and square and we just get on with our life? But anyways, I digress. The question of the day is, did Tony Hinchcliffe's Puerto Rico joke sway the election towards Harris or towards Dr. Trizump? Did it or didn't it? That's the question. I found this clip from a Joe Rogan clip online. It said Joe on the Tony Hinchcliffe Trump rally backlash, and I thought this would be a good one too. I really like Joe Rogan and his takes. They're really middle of the road. They've always have been, and he's always been left-leaning. But when the 2020 thing happened, he started being boisterous about hypocrisies and things. He started seeing people started classifying him as a right-winger, but he's definitely far from that. And I just love his angle and the way he approaches conversation and podcasting. It's freaking amazing. So on the channel, I reacted very blindly to Tony Hinchcliffe's insult comic set at the Trump rally. And I even noticed in those comments, I got a lot of backlash. People got very upset. Some people loved it. Some people hated it. Some people were just like, this didn't fit the rally. I thought the shit was funny, but I am a fan of Tony Hinchcliffe and Kill Tony. I even do those reactions on this channel. That's why I reacted to it. So today, I wanted to check this clip out in its entirety, have some conversations with you, and get to it. If you're here for it, like, share, comment, subscribe. Also, check out my music reaction channel at Black Pegasus Raps. And me and Don started our 40-year-old FUQ Boys podcast channel. That will be linked in the description as well. And yeah, man, let's get into this. I think this is a good conversation. And you guys tap in. I don't care. I don't care if you support Trump or Harris. I honestly don't. I do not care. Tap in with your legitimate feelings. I thought the jokes were funny, but the one thing, the Puerto Rico joke, I was like, damn, like people will get upset and take this out of context because they're already saying he's saying Puerto Ricans are trash, and he wasn't saying that. But then I saw this clip, and I actually looked into it. I started doing Google, and the first thing in Google is all Tony Hinchcliffe and anti-Trump stuff. But when you really start searching, Puerto Rico has a trash crisis that I didn't even know about, that because of the joke is actually getting some awareness. So I was like, damn, that's kind of like some 4D chess, kind of.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
People always used to say to us when we started trigonometry, they were like, the whole free speech thing is bullshit, blah, blah, blah. You just want to be able to say racist things. You're right. And
they were right.
And they were
I heard this part. I don't know who these guys are.
And that's why I came to Texas.
Yeah,
whoever booked him is.
I'm guessing they're comedians at some point, or maybe they write like some type of show. That he said trigonometry, so maybe they have like a show that's comedy and they're like writers. I don't know.
Shitting their pants right now.
Why did you do that? I tell all comedians, don't ever do comedy at something that's not a comedy event. Don't do it. Don't ever do comedy at a place that's doing also.
Yeah.
Is it gonna have a bunch of speakers and you're gonna go up and do 10 minutes? Don't ever do that. It's a terrible setup. It's a terrible setup, and it's a political rally, and you're doing jokes like you're in a comedy club. It doesn't. You can't. Don't do it.
I don't really blame Tony, though, because Tony is what Tony is, right? Like, if you want an insult comic, Tony is the best in the world.
That's literally his great specialty is roasting.
Right. So
the best roaster ever.
if you book Tony Hinchcliffe is going to be Tony Hinchcliffe.
Exactly.
So whoever fucking booked him, that's the person that's made the
Not
mistake.
just booked him, but apparently went over his material.
Did they go over his material? Oh my!
This is what I've read on the internet, so it must be true.
In the words of Donald Trump, someone's getting fired, man.
I gotta tell you, that joke kills at comedy clubs. I don't like the joke. It kills.
Why? Why don't you like the joke if it kills? I don't get that. I thought it was funny. When you guys can see my reaction to it, I thought this shit was funny because I didn't know it was going there. And I didn't think he was calling Puerto Ricans trash. I was just like, oh, there's something. I honestly thought he was making a joke from when the hurricane hit and Trump went out there and was throwing paper towels and there was must have been debris left over or something that this administration didn't clean up. That's what I thought the premise of the joke was. I didn't think, like, bro, and when Tony clowns and does his racial clowning, like, that's all it is. It's just clowning. Like, when you see the people he hangs out with, you just know, bro, he's just an insult comic. He's like a good-ass dude. But anyways, that's interesting.
And I said to him, it's just like, if you're Puerto Rican and you hear that in the audience, like, oh, but it's a funny joke. The joke does well. But
bro, I'm black and Mexican, bro. He said black jokes. There's talking about immigrants. Like, I think it's funny, bro. I'm literally black and Mexican. I don't like. He's like, he's like, I welcome immigrants with open arms, like this. Like, I was like, that's hilarious. Like, it's funny. So I don't know.
Said to him, I go, dude, that's the one's gonna get you stabbed.
Really?
Yes. And he used to
Warned him?
talk about it on stage, saying, Joe Rogan always says, that's the one's going to get me stabbed. Like,
Wow.
which is so crazy.
Yeah.
I think he'd pick stabbed at this point, given the shit that's going down.
I think it'll blow over,
Yeah.
just like all these things do.
Yeah,
and
of course.
there's people that are always going to hate someone like Tony, and it's going to make other people love him more. It's just
I personally think it's going to make him bigger. Like when I see how big Trump has got from controversial takes, I thought, oh, his political career is over, and he just keeps getting bigger. Tony is an insult comic. He did what he was supposed to do, and anyone who likes insult comics will like him more and be like, yo, he's a gangster, bro. He went to a political rally and just started roasting fools to their face.
like he's going through it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
He's
know,
going through the storm.
as somebody
What
who,
storm?
has wound up, who winds people up. We've wound people up on our time.
Yeah, you guys are winders.
We get called something beginning with W, mate.
Oh, well, you guys, that's a negative over there, wanker. You can call someone a wanker here, and it's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
it's like calling him a cracker. It doesn't really work. Or a hunky.
But when I saw what Tony did, I went, all right, mate, you're in a different league now to me. That is another level.
Yeah, Obama was quoting his bit, but he's quoting it like it was a statement.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is really fucked up. He was quoting it like he was saying someone called Puerto Rico an island of garbage. But that's a joke. That's like going to a Quentin Tarantino movie, and then the man killed that woman. Like, he didn't really kill that woman. That's like a doll.
Yeah.
This is a movie. No one died. Everyone's fine. They all like each other.
But if you give them ammunition,
Yeah, it's the problem. We were discussing this in the bathroom. Like, it's like, that's their job. That's
Yeah.
what they have to do.
They got to do it.
That's their job.
you give them ammunition, they're going to use it.
Of course they're going to do it. That's what they do. Like, you can't assume they're going to be a good person and not use it in this critical moment. How many days are we? Like 8 days?
And they used it, you guys. They used it, and they fumbled the ball. They were doing what they were supposed to do, painting the narrative of this being racist, rally, and everything they need to do to paint the narrative, to scare people, blah, blah, blah. Again, I say that from the perspective is I know they're lying, right? However, for people who did believe it, I just think it's hilarious because then Joe Biden comes out. Joe Biden comes out and says that Trump supporters are garbage. Since all this happened, since this conversation, Joe Biden has come out and said that Donald Trump supporters are garbage. Donald Trump shows up to his rally yesterday in a garbage truck. Not only a garbage truck, they wrapped it with the Trump logo and Vance logo, and he's wearing this like yellow worker vest. And then he goes out to his frickin' rally. This is the craziest troll of all time. And in the yellow vest, in the 9-to-5 worker, garbage trash worker vest, and says 250 million Americans are not garbage. That's insane. That's an insane flip. We're watching battle rap unfold on the political stage of America, and I'm here for it. It's very entertaining.
Before the election? That's
Right.
crazy. That's so soon. Of course you're going to use everything. I'd use it too.
But you know what? It nicely encapsulates modern politics because it's a storm about nothing. It's a storm about a joke at a rally. And actually, everybody's focusing on that instead of the huge problems that America has, which we all need to be discussing. And we need to be discussing in a calm, serious, and sober manner. Because, for example, if you have an open border, that's an existential crisis. Because if you can't control your borders, you don't have a country. But we don't talk about that, really. We're getting upset because Tony Hinchcliffe came along and called Puerto Rico a trash.
But he didn't even call him. He made a joke,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. He made a joke.
There's an island of trash.
Yeah.
It's called Puerto Rico. Here's where that joke comes from. Tony is actually obsessed with the Pacific garbage patch, and like the fact that we just throw, like we were talking about, like recycling. Like recycling doesn't work. They don't do it. Most of your bottles, when you throw in a recycler, they get put in landfills. So there's a landfill in Puerto Rico that's way overflowed. Puerto Rico has a legitimate trash problem. Because they're on an island. Like, where are you going to put it, right? There's all these people living on that island. Where are you going to put it? And so they have landfills. Their landfills are way over capacity. So that's where the joke came from.
Right.
Like, the joke came from, like, Tony being environmentally conscious about recycling.
Yeah, they don't seem to have taken it that way.
But from his roaster perspective, that's where the joke comes from.
Totally.
I think it's called Puerto Rico. And you say it and everybody laughs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's crazy because when I heard this, I was like, I have to talk about this on the channel because I reacted to it in real time, and I know there's some disdain in people's mouths. I got actually a lot of unfollows, and that's why sometimes I try not to make any of my channels political because I don't think politics serve me or people in general. But as I've become more of a taxpayer and like more of my life is affected by politics, I follow it a lot more. But I want YouTube to be a place of where I can entertain and have fun and get away from it. But every now and then I like to talk, or when I react to it and when I see people start going, don't do this, I'm a rebel. So I start to be like, you know what, F you, I'm going to do more of it. But I'm not. I'm not a politics. I just, honestly, I don't know enough, and I don't know enough about history. I know stuff here and there, but it's not my thing. It's not my niche, right? I know more about like martial arts and rap and stuff like that than I do. So anyways, long story short, I got actually a lot of unfollows and unsubscribes because of my Tony Hinchcliffe reaction, and it actually made me proud. I really enjoy that. It made me proud for two reasons. The main reason is because I don't want people like that who just have they're so fragile that my opinion makes them melt, how Donald Trump makes a lot of people melt. I don't want emotionally scarred, well, not scarred, but emotionally triggered people. I don't need that, man. None of us do. You're too high strung. Like, bro, we all have different opinions. And so I want to highlight one of the people who've been rocking with me for a long time, and I want to tell you guys why. April. April's actually a mod on my other channel. She's been rocking with me forever, and we disagree on so many things, especially politics, culture war. We disagree so heavily, like on so many different things. She always shows up in the comments and tells her opinion. And then when we get it right, she's like, oh, I dig that. I can, but the funny thing is when we drop content that she enjoys, she's like, I really love this. I like this. You guys, and she literally follows as like a fan of the content of the work, and she's not a fan of everything. But anyway, she's one person that stands out to me. Because me and her will argue in the comments. And then I'll see her show up a year later I'm like, oh, you still rocking? I respect your ass. And that's who I respect. And that's why I love when people unsubscribe and unfollow, because we all got to have thicker skin. I follow a gang of people that I don't agree with, a gang of people. And I try to hear their perspective, and then I listen to stuff that I like. And then I just try to take time and experience and develop my own perspectives and opinions based off what I'm seeing in real time, what I'm hearing people say, and just trying to make common sense, logical decisions. So, I'm going to stop this here. Go check out these clips on Rogan's clip channel, and you can see all these podcasts on his channel, Support Bro Man. But I thought that was a really interesting thing. And once I found out where the root of the joke came from, I was like, a lot of y'all MFers got it wrong. And the other thing is, like, they were jokes, legitimately jokes. I saw so many people using the R word in my comment section, like, this is that. I'm like, bro, you guys just must not. I mean, they just don't watch. They're just not privy to real comedy where everybody can get it, right? One of the biggest reactions on this channel is Don Rickles. And you know why? Because everyone can get it. And they're self-deprecating. If you don't watch Tony Hinchcliffe, he disses himself all the time. And he gets dissed. But it's just like he can take it and throw it back. Take it, throw it back. So I'm going to leave it there, you guys. That was fun to check that out and get a little more context to what's going on. I hope you guys have a good day. Have a great weekend. And, yeah, you know what it is.
City boy, city boy.